If you're new here, welcome. And to my regular fan base, welcome back. So, in this live video, I wish to speak of how grateful I am to my son. You know, it's a beautiful thing when you make your child feel, ever since when they're born, all the way up until present age. In my son's case, 6 3/4, as he keeps saying to me and hammering that point home to my dad, to his dad. 6 3/4. Um, but I'm very grateful to him. Today, there's an old school saying, sometimes a man's got to do what a man's got to do. Well, sometimes a father's got to do what a father's got to do. And, you know, I made a post before this live, and I spoke of on Friday evening, I saw my boy, and it was in a public place, and his needs have been neglected because his nan doesn't bother taking him to the park to play. And, I stepped in spite of, and I tried to be a good boy. I tried to be a good boy, and do it by the book and play the game and have patience. And when it's getting adjourned and dragged out and dragged out and dragged out, the court case, at what costs? At the detriment to the child. See, that's the problem. It's the child's feelings and emotions that are being neglected. It's the child whose needs are not being met. It's the child who is ultimately being shunned aside. And that's done for money. That's done for money by the courts, for the system, how they extort men. And that's done by women, by mothers or grandmothers who use the system to make money from men. So whether it's the system or whether it's women alike, it's done by design, and money supersedes the child's emotions. That's what's wrong. And I made a recent post, as I say, Friday, and I stepped in and met my son, and took him to the park. Posted some Facebook stories about it. There's plenty more to come. We're just getting started up in here. Plenty more to come, because I also said in the recent posts, when I got home and I dropped my son off to his nan, the police were called. But what happens? I never got arrested, because what is going on right now is not a criminal matter, it's a civil matter. And I'm still waiting for proof, both by Maria and the authorities, his nan, and the authorities alike, to have evidence against me, which there is none. Because if there were to be evidence against the father, I would have been arrested right now. I cannot say what this is as I'm in proceedings. I can only talk general. I can't be specific. But it's absolutely vile and disgusting how I've been fucked over for money. But it's fine, because my son, he's loyal. He's loyal to his dad. He remembers how his dad made him feel. He remembers how dad did the work all the way from babyhood up until present age. He remembers all that. He says to me, Dad, I remember when you took me to Epping Forest when I was 4.5. He remembers that. And we had Peppa Pig, the audio book. He goes, Dad, I remember you taking me to the Science Museum and us playing at the arcades there. I've forgotten what it's called. There's the Science Museum, they have like a game section now for kids. So he remembers that. He remembers many things Dad did. And it's beautiful. And this is why I'm always taking pictures and videos. Because I think, side note, this is what's missing a lot with parents. They don't bother. Yeah, they'll throw the phone in front of the child's face, and they'll be immersed in their phone, dealing with work, and I saw a quote that was really staggering. Like, it really hit me in the heart, and it was staggering with what was put forth. Here's the quote I saw. It said that instead of focusing on creating a better life for your children with work, why not focus on a better day with your child or children? And that means just, yeah, get off the phone, man. Yeah, be on the phone and take pictures and videos instead. Why not do that? Why not take memories? There's no excuse now, right? You can take pictures and videos and memories of golden moments, you know, playfulness, you know, whether you're in the restaurant or the park, or just walking around or being silly, a funny moment, right? And you can look back at that memory and say, hey son, you were 3 here. Hey son, you were 5 here. Hey son, you were 6 here. That's what creates the bonds and enriching the nourishing bonds between parent and child/children. It's the golden moments. It's the insights behind authenticity, purity, and truth when you're out and about and you're just in a playful state, and you can just stack and compound these like an encyclopedia, if you will, of golden moments and memories being created, and your child remembers you. It's a beautiful thing, and I'm so glad I did that, and I've done that ever since he was a baby. I'm so grateful because, you know, for the second time in 2 days, one being Friday evening, and I made a recent post about that. But today, again, a man's got to do what a man's got to do, and especially a father's got to do what a father's got to do sometimes. And I know, today, excuse me, I was meeting my friends and her son and her parents at the park where I live, and I thought, let me just see something here. Let me just force the issue, because if people are going to mess me around, and not just mess me around, but mess my son around even more importantly, of more precious time being lost by everything the courts wise being adjourned, when there's no significant evidence, but people to feed into the political agendas to cover their own, excuse my language, arses, they're going to adjourn it like cowards, like liars that they are, the liars that they are, and like the cowards that they truly are. They're going to adjourn it to force time for them to rectify their own mistake. That's what's going on here. So I thought, excuse my language, fuck you. If you're going to do that to me and my child, I'm going to force the issue myself. So I thought, well, let me double down on this. Maria, his nan, left us at the coffee shop. She wanted to go home, not care about my son's needs. He's 6 3/4 now, as I said. So I thought, okay, we're going to spend time together, son. Let's play. We did that Friday evening. Today, I thought, because she left us, I'm going to double down on this bad boy. And on the way to meet my friend and her parents and her son at the park, I stopped by where my local church is. I'm a Christian, as a lot of you guys know. And I saw them at a restaurant. It was my son, his nan, his nan's friends, and his nan's friend's daughter there. Long story short, you know, and I see through the masks. You know, I don't listen to what people say. I watch their actions. Because anybody, you listen to yap, 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 noise and words. That's the trap people will put themselves under. And unfortunately, they listen to the noise rather than the body language, the tone, the actions, the patterns of a timeline of prolonged period of time, long Miranda periods of time, where the actions reflect the words? You know, things like this. This is how I'm very good at sussing people out and knowing who's a fake liar, you know? So I get there and, you know, it's all like, oh, how are you there? But I can tell, I know from my fatherly instincts are kicking in. Yes, a mother knows best because, you know, they carry the baby for 9 months. Father's second thing. And my instincts were kicking in big. And I knew something was off, you know, with all the fake smiles and fake this. And I just look at the body language, and I look at like how I'm being looked at, you know, as I'm engaging with my son. There's a thing called peripheral vision. Peripheral vision means you're focused on, say, in my case, my son, but I'm also looking around, side vision, and I'm looking around and I'm feeling the energy and I'm sensing something's off from other people. And lo and behold, you know, I thought, you know what? Enough's enough. You know, so I take charge. And I want to say a special thank you to my good friend and brother, Hector Brito. He's taught me to be, excuse my horn in the background. Sorry about that, if you heard a horn. That's on my street. Yeah, he's taught me how to become a sovereign. How to become a sovereign by way of um, not caring and forcing the issue and calling out the authorities on their bullshit, and how they failed as officers of the courts by prolonging this out. They failed, just like the courts failed, the officers, just like the authorities failed, just like my son's nan has failed. You know? So he's taught me to have the balls to represent myself, and by doing such, my confidence is skyrocketed way up here, because now I no longer care. I know I'm not going to be arrested as long as I don't go into my mother-in-law's building, right? As I say in the recent post I did, I would have been. 2 police officers came out with her. They told me I'll be arrested on the spot had I gone in, but they shook my hand as I left, as I explained the situation to them. They shook my hand, you know, because I told them, you know, I'm as a man, I've been fucked for money, both by the system and the authorities alike. Sorry, the system, the authorities like, and my mother-in-law, as well as my mother-in-law alike as well also. I look at the clothes my son's wearing again, it's all like beautiful clothes, beautiful, stunning outfits. Like, look very expensive, you know, but she does get £800, £800 carer's allowance now. So she's got plenty of money. But that's the thing with narcissists. It's all imagery. It's all image. They're all show and no go. They're all, you know, yap, flat, you know. But there's no substance to these people. There's no substance. They're empty to their core. They're shallow vessels. And they rely on other people for admiration and validation. That's why they're always on the go. That's why they can never sit still. That's why they can never just be, you know. It's all imagery, it's all status. But for my son, as you know, for my son as his father, I view my son as nurturing, as farming, as developing, as emotionally being in tune with his emotions, feelings, his wants, his needs, his intents, his passions. Yes, 6-year-old and 3/4, you know, nearly 7 years old. Yes, they have passions in their little brain. They do, you know. It's still a little boy passion, but it's passion nonetheless. They feel passion. So it's been in tune with that. And I want to say that, you know, I just took the ball and I ran with it. And I said, no, me and my son, we're going now. We're going to go to church for a prayer. Then we're going to go to the park. And there's nothing you can do about it. And he wants to be with his dad. He's like, Dad, let's go. Or Dad, I want to go with you. Come on. Okay, son. Okay, let's go. So, and then his nan and his nan's friends and his nan's daughter were all shouting, you can't take him. No, I'm taking him. My mother-in-law's friend's daughter followed me. She was on the phone to the police and she was following me and him around. I was like, no, my son's coming with me. I don't know who you are. Get away from me. Don't touch my son. Leave me alone. Don't touch me. Don't touch my boy. I'm going with my son. You do what you got to do. You're in a public space. I can't, public place/space. I can't force you to not follow us. But if you touch me, no, leave me alone. So me and my son, we just went ahead. And then eventually she backed off. We ended up having a great time. We Because, you know, that's the thing. Narcissists, they're very good at, I think it's called the smear campaign. They're very good at, like, when another person isn't there to defend themselves, they're very good at, like, putting your name into the dirt. And everyone believes the lies about me. Yet, I'm still waiting for things to be proven. Still, nothing can be proven. Not from the lies that I've been accused of, because it never happens. That's why it's still a civil matter. That's why it's not a criminal case. It never happens. I can't say it because we're in proceedings, but it never happens. You know? So she backed off eventually. Me and my friends and her son, we had a fantastic, great time today. We got many stories to come, Facebook stories to post, and Facebook posts as well. Social media is a beautiful thing. And this is how I'm stacking up and stacking up and stacking up and stacking up and compounding all of this authenticity, all of this purity, all of this truth, you know? And I'm doing it. I'm doing it as a sovereign. I'm doing it how my good friend, big brother, Hector taught me to have the balls to handle the court system and to speak like a pro. Yes, he's given me a lot of scripts to follow and what to say and learn the court lingo and language and analytics, and I've done that. And how I've conducted myself, thanks to him. You know, my confidence gain is, just to reiterate, is so high right now, so high. So you know, I'm prepared of what's to come, the onslaught. I'm preparing myself for the consequences, but you know, at the end of the day, what consequences can there really be? Here's a man who is innocent, and he's innocent. He is. And it's still a civil matter. So this proves that, you know, it doesn't prove I'm, you know, not innocent per se, because I'm still waiting for the case to be closed. But the fact that it's not criminal, you know, that tells me, I know I'm innocent, but that should tell other people that I'm innocent too. But when you have a past, you see, your past is always going to be used against you. And that's the problem. But your past shouldn't be a life sentence either. 10 years on, not being charged. 3 years, not being arrested. So, you know, I just think, no, enough's enough. I did what I had to do as a man, as a father. I want to share this as well. The boys were playing. They were playing so nice together. We played in the sands. We played, made a pyramids, sand castles. I met my friend's parents. They're lovely. They're sweethearts. And I took my boy to Popeye's Chicken. And it's beautiful how, like, got a lovely top that he's kind of ruined with stains. I don't know if you can see it. But there's, like, stains here, which is lovely. I've missed that. And even the little mini tantrums, you know. It cost me a bit of money today because I ordered him something from Popeye's. If you don't know, it's like an American Popeye's Louisiana Chicken. It's like an American themed restaurant. So he wanted, like, Dad, I want chicken with this sauce. Oh, Dad, I don't like this sauce. Okay, let's get you another sauce, garlic sauce. No, I don't want that either, Dad. So I get him another thing with a different sauce. No, I don't want that either, Dad. I just want chips. But these are the little things that I've missed. Yeah, it's cost me quite a bit of money today, and Popeyes is expensive. But I've missed that. I'm glad my top's filthy dirty right now. I'm glad that I was able to navigate through the tantrums and just, you know, negotiate and, you know, with my boy and find a way to just still have a great time. And we did it. He looked after his dad today. He got me a drink at Popeyes where you help yourself, you see, with drinks. He, you know, he got me a drink. I took a video of it and he got me a drink from the self-service. Beautiful, you know. And this is the thing. This is what I'm talking about with loyalty. With you make your child feel with, like, emotionally and in tune with their energy and their attempts and their needs and their playfulness. They'll remember you and they'll do for you, you know. And I'm very grateful to my boy, his loyalty to his dad's, you know. He didn't want to go back to his nan's. He wanted to come back with Dada. But I said, no, we can't come back here just yet, son. You'll be back here with me soon, once you're out of this. And I'll fight. I will always fight. I'll fight to my death for you. But until we're out of proceedings, I can't have him back here. But I did say to him, you know, right, let's go Popeyes, we'll relax. I dropped him off back to his nan's around 7:30. Around 7:30, 8 o'clock, something like this. And she didn't even say nothing to me. No police this time. She just looked at me to feed, and I looked at her, all defiant. And I was like, you wanted this? Well, now you got it. You make your bed, you lie in it. Because this is my son now. No longer a baby, but a boy. You know, I didn't say anything. I just looked at her. And I had my hands on my son's shoulders like this. And I was just standing, looking all defiant. You know? And my son knows. He knows. He knows the truth of his dad's. And I'm very grateful to him. So I just want to make this as a post of gratitude and give Hector his flowers. Third time I say his name, Hector Brito. Wonderful, marvellous man. Taught me how to become a sovereign. You know, not caring about the authorities. Navigating through the challenges of them. Through stacked, compounded evidence. Creating leverage for yourself. By way of voice recording, screenshots, video documentation. Everything. You know. No longer am I afraid. Here I stand. Or in this instance, I'm sitting, but, you know, here I sit, and here I stand in general terms, as a man, unafraid and unbroken. And for my boy, the amount of fighting I've done for him over this, like, last 2 years, the first instance when my beard scratches my son's face goes red. Second time I can't say because we're in proceedings. But the amount of fighting I've done for him, the amount of money I've lost from all the energy of doing tests, this test, that test, you know, contact center, everything. And I'm still here. And I've still got two big fingers up, not swearing at my audience, but two big fingers up to the authorities. Because today, I took a stand. I took a big stand the last couple of days. I took a big stand against the authority who keep dragging it out. And that's delivered to the authorities right there. Here's a funny story. On the way home, my son, he wanted to take a picture outside Ealing Council. That's where the social services are. I was like, you want to take a picture of Dad here, son? Okay. And he's smiling outside the Ealing Council. It's a big fuck you to them, you know. You try to take my boy away from me, you know. And he's smiling. He's smiling right in front of his dad's face outside the Ealing Council office, you know. It's like, oh man, you wait. You guys wait for what I'm about to post. Stories, posts, I've got it all. And I'm exposing the tyrannical attitudes of the authorities day by day by day. It's getting stronger and stronger and stronger, you know. No longer am I going to be afraid. I'm unbroken, and I am the sovereign, and I'm going to be a beacon of light to other men, to inspire and to respectfully educate behind what is possible through relentless, with a sincere pursuit, documentation to a T of, you know, authenticity, purity, truth, the emotions, what's real, right? You know, behind interaction between father and child, and how you can protect yourself from the powers that be. Because we all know this corrupts. We all know it's money. We all know whether it's the system or women extorting men. Both have their agendas politically. For women, it's they're using the system to their advantage to fuck a man over so they can get paid, right? For the system, it's the court system. You know how much money they make? Do they care about the interest for the child? They'll say that. They'll proclaim that to cover their ass. But their child's emotions, you think that supersedes money? Do me a favour. Of course it doesn't. We all know that. So the only way you got to do, sometimes you got to play dirty. Sometimes you got to meet fire with fire. Sometimes you got to say, fuck you. I'm going to just come back at you with every ounce of my being. And I'm going to do it peacefully and politically, yet respectfully, aggressively. And you're going to get nothing but realness and the truth. And this is how you do it. And eventually, inevitably, when the child becomes older, my son, he's 6 3/4. He's starting to become awakened and aware, educated and empowered. He's starting to know things now. He's starting to realize his needs are being negated his playful attempts. Nana hasn't taken me to park in a long time, Dada. You know, I want to play. This is what he said to me Friday evening. We're on the swing. I made a Facebook story out of it. When we were together, he's going, I'm having such a great time, Dada. He hasn't done that in a long time. Because my mother-in-law, his nan thinks, oh, go to school, come back home for school, weekends, go to the coffee shop, be with my friends, and you play by yourself and you just sit there and you be seen and not heard. No, 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 no. It doesn't work that way. Not now. Not in this era we're in now. That's child abuse. That's emotional neglect. And isn't it ironic that that's the very thing that I've been accused of? Emotional abuse and neglect. Which is just being done nefariously against me with ill intent for money intensive purposes. But this is the thing. Every day I'm getting those masks, those airtight masks, and I'm ripping them off. And I'm ripping them off piece by piece by piece. And in the end, everyone reveals themselves in time. And in the end, under that airtight mask, right? And in the end, the truth will always come out. I can promise you that. Keep an eye out for my Facebook stories. Keep an eye out for my posts. I've got some cool stuff from my virtual assistant. I paid him today. We've got some big things coming on our YouTube channel. The storytelling of parental annihilation, the voice recordings. I've got it all. All I've ever needed was my phone. You know? And piece by piece, brick by brick. There's a quote from Denzel Washington / Robert McCall from the Equalizer film. Piece by piece, brick by brick. I'm coming. You know? And the authorities, they're about to pay. They're about to pay big. You know, because there's a place called Farley Solicitors, and they're a suing firm to those who have a good case to sue. And I've got many voice recordings that have been submitted to them. I've actually taken great pleasure to submit to the court clerk representing the authorities on the her answer machine. As I said in my previous post, all of the recordings from the previous authorities, the social workers, how they treated me, their unprofessionalism, the lies, the gaslighting, got everything. And I showcased that. And all of a sudden, as I said in my previous post, people are reaching out now. Oh, Chris, are you okay? Chris, this. No, you don't give a fuck. You care about your position. You're scared for your position because you know you fucked up. And I'm not a sheep. I'm a fucking wolf. Yes, I'm a wolf. And I'm coming down. I'm coming down big. And they're not going to know what's hit them, you know. Because this is 2 years worth of me and my son. All the emotional turmoil. All of the relationships it's cost me. All of the people that have gone out of my life. Because I've been under so much stress and that have left my life. Only a few tried and true tested friends are still here. You know. And, you know, so they're going to pay. And I'm coming for them with interest. And I'm sorry about this long post. It's almost 30 minutes in, but it's necessary. It is. You know, people are going to hear my story. They're going to ask me one time how I did it. You know, they're going to ask me, you know, like all these videos I'm doing. People said, why are you doing these videos? Why are you doing this and just wasting your time? I'm not wasting my time, dudes. I'm telling a story. I'm telling the story of what's going on with Palin, with Timeline, and I'm building, and I'm building, and I'm building. That's what I'm doing. And already on my YouTube channel, through the algorithm magic of my virtual assistant, who's good at the tech stuff, we're a third of the way there with 300 views. Once we get to 1K, then we can start moving forwards with the next phase of YouTube and how it works, and comments and all these things, people leaving comments, and I have no idea how it works, but I've been told I've got a powerful story and just keep doing these videos, and that's what I'm doing right now. So with all this said, if you made it to the end of this live and consume the video, God bless you, thank you. And yeah, that's all I have to say in this one. But it's been a day of it's been a huge victory, and it's been a day of of love and of truth. And I'm eternally grateful to my son's loyalty to his father, because he remembers how I made him feel. Can't get any more real than that, you know. So with all this said, much love, much respect, God bless, and yeah, thank you for reaching it to the end if you did. Peace.